Greetings, and welcome to Rustwall. In this video, we'll be going over the basics of Rustwall, how it differs from vanilla Vintage Story, and what you'll need to know to get started. The first thing to know about Rustwall is the map. Rustwall is much smaller than a typical server, only 25k by 25k. Polar equatorial distance is set to 50% to ensure that the north is cold and that the south is warm. Spawn is in a temperate region of the northern hemisphere. Story location distance has been reduced to 25%. These are the only consistent settings on Rustwall. By the end of this video, you'll understand why that's important to know. Rustwall's map is not permanent, outside of a roughly 1k by 1k safe zone at the center of the map. The world has the ability to delete itself and regenerate with a new set of world generation settings. This process of regeneration is not guaranteed. At the disposal of the players is a network of machines inside the safe zone that protects against the regeneration. The area protected from regeneration extends outwards from the safe zone. The size of this area of protection depends on the condition of the machine network. Different machines on the network will degrade over time and break. Players will need to repair these broken machines by supplying them with certain parts and materials. Some machines can be fixed while they're still working. These simple machines might only need a couple gears and a turn of the wrench to remain fully operational. Other, more complex machines must first break down in order to be repaired. These typically are more reliable, yet more expensive to repair. The objective of Rustwall is to give the best of both worlds between servers that regularly wipe their map and servers that seldomly do, if ever. Servers that never start fresh are uniquely susceptible to burnout as players complete their goals that they've set for themselves and struggle to find new ones with a changing or declining population as others do the same. These servers typically do still have a dedicated core group of players that will eventually show up when the next big update comes out and the server resets. On the flip side, when the server does restart from scratch on a set schedule, there could be lulls in population at the final days. New players might be harder to retain, and grand projects might still not have time to finish. Unless something catastrophic happens, like a corrupted chunk, Rustwall gives players a permanent central location that doesn't regenerate and surrounds it with a map that's dynamically reacting to the player's actions. In this way, the machines within the safe zone act as an activity check. The balance we seek to achieve with Rustwall is one that allows a small group of players with primitive resources the ability to keep the machines limping along in a manner that they can still build and farm outside of the safe zone without worrying about their stuff getting regenerated. Once players reach a higher tech level, they can tackle more complicated machines and have a greater level of control. If the population dwindles low enough for long enough, or if players actively decide to let the machine break down entirely, players can expect to come back to a brand new map outside. That covers the basics of the systems of Rustwall, but we still need to talk more about the safe zone. There are 7 key locations to look out for on the map of Rustwall: the Sky Ferry, East Dock, the Church, the Factory, the Lighthouse, the Machine Shop, and the town of Mudwall. The safe zone itself is handcrafted to fit the playstyles we want to encourage through Rustwall's systems. The zone is occupied primarily by a series of massive flying islands that are host to the structures that house the machines that make up the network. Players are free to build on the islands and on the land below. We do ask that players keep their claim size to a minimum on the islands to cut down on claim congestion. Below the islands, things are much less scrutinized. It's also important to note that the elevation of the islands means that for most months, farming is poor for most crops. The land below is also resource deficient and has bad fertility. This is to encourage players to build any large farms outside of the safe zone to reduce claim congestion. Another notable feature of the safe zone is the labyrinth. As some of the machines require loot that drops from mobs, the labyrinth has had its transportational features removed and instead gives players a convenient arena for collecting those resources. We expect Rustwall to satisfy a variety of playstyles. The natural flow of resources towards the center of the map, due to the demands of the machines, means more opportunities for trade routes to establish. Players living on the fringes, where regeneration is more frequent, can either make the long trek home or hire couriers to bring their resources back to civilization. More casual players towards the center are then able to use these resources to craft the materials necessary to keep the machines up and running. The time it takes to farm will be a factor when weighed against the likeliness of a region to regenerate, meaning most farming will be the domain of those closer to civilization. This also means that frontier hunters will find it easier to justify going after anything they come across in the wild. I could go on for hours about the different ways the dynamics of Rustwall will change gameplay styles, but that's beyond the scope of this video. At the time of posting this, DessertOverlord is still busting his ass to get everything ready for a public launch. But the things discussed in this video are currently either feature complete or confirmed to be ready at launch. We hope that this has answered some questions you might have about Rustwall, and look forward to seeing how everything plays out. Alright, bye.